You know, a common theme in Traumathon is the naivete of just a young mind. Whether it's exaggerating certain details or just believing everything we see, the part of Traumathon that makes it so fun and exciting and sometimes a little silly is the fact that we were able to conceive certain things so differently when we were young as opposed to now, I guess. And I bring this up because there was this weird trend for a long time, I think longer than I would like to admit happened, when people just started posting videos of them going outside and hearing these strange noises in the sky.
Oh, this is it. Maybe it wasn't 2012, it was 2013. Fucking hell. Alright, okay. Not an animal, is it?
It was possibly the weirdest trend ever that I really hate admitting I believe. Yeah, for some reason it started off somewhere in Russia where someone just went outside their building and they started hearing strange noises as if it's like horns coming from the sky or something of the sort. In reality, it was probably machinery from construction or somewhere from the town. But that didn't stop us and our young little minds to believe that something was going on around the world. Then, soon after, we saw other people from other parts of the country and other parts of the world start posting online of how they go outside and they start hearing these strange noises. You can't be the only one that believed this stuff, right? Well, as much as I'm making it out to be a bit fake and maybe even a hoax, the chances are that this is more real than you might think, and in some cases, it might be unsolved for as long as we live. This is the case of the worldwide hum, a strange noise heard by all sorts of people all over the globe, and it's heard so many times, so frequently by so many people, that there's actually a map that tracks down who has heard it and where. Now, I'm very skeptical when it comes to paranormal garbage, and I'm going to call it right now, there's a lot of people who just straight up faked it. It's really not that hard to just go outside right now, in fact, and just take out your camcorder or your telephones. My God, I'm fucking old. Did I say camcorder and telephone? I'm saggy. No, but it's really not that hard to just go outside with your phone and just record yourself reacting to the outside world and going back inside with that same footage and then just adding noises. And it doesn't matter what kind of noise, as long as it's like some weird electronic or weird mechanical kind of hum noise, you can add whatever you want and people will most likely believe it if you are good at mixing your audio, unlike me. This could be easily debunked because everyone's using the same exact sound, which is coming from the movie Red State. And in that movie, it's about a cult who basically believes Jesus is coming back and it's the apocalypse and, you know, the same Christian bullshit. If you live in America, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, there is this sound that they hear at the very end of the movie that sound like heavenly trumpets that are pretty much a signal of the apocalypse. Of course, later on in the movie, it's confirmed that those trumpets are just sounds that are a prank from the college next door or something like that, but that exact same sound is actually used by everyone who hoaxed it. The sad thing is there's a lot of people who really do believe that these trumpet-like noises heard around the world are trumpets for the apocalypse or something, some sort from the Bible and whatever. And it's hard to convince people who are that faithful into their own beliefs that it's actually a hoax. So it's kind of done irreversible damage now. Thankfully, it's not that big of a trend anymore. Maybe it'll resurface on TikTok, or maybe already has, but this sort of thing has already been confirmed to be a hoax. But there are just some cases where it can't really be confirmed or denied. Sort of what makes this entry a Traumathon a sort of weird one, because usually I talk about things that are fake or from media or just a hoax, but this one is actually just unsolved? Well, let me explain. The hum is not as simple as to just be a hoax. For some people, they could genuinely think that they've recorded something otherworldly or some sort of strange phenomenon, when in reality, they just recorded some sort of strange machinery from, I don't know, construction or something of the sort that I mentioned earlier. They just don't know it. The hum is not just one sound. It's many different kinds of sounds. For some people, it could be the signs of, and this is kind of funny and a little sad, but the signs that they're developing tinnitus. And if it's not that or machinery, then it could be just something that the Earth is producing. I mean, keep in mind, the Earth is a noisy fucking planet. It makes a ton of noise, noise that we can barely even hear, but sometimes it makes that noise loud enough that we hear a sort of humming-like sound, either through the sky or through the ground. And of course, if the Earth isn't noisy enough for you, keep in mind that we're not the only inhabitants here. There are several animals out there that make really strange noises that could really resemble a hum or some otherworldly thing. And then we have machineries in the sky like jets and airplanes, and they make all sorts of noises, and that could be part of the hum as well. Or maybe a completely different explanation altogether, like faulty construction work. Yeah, did you know that the Golden Gate Bridge actually had a problem? The problem was that it was too noisy.
A hum, a ghostly wail, a Brian Eno-style soundtrack for the world's most famous bridge. The noise isn't just hard to describe, it is something people have had a hard time identifying.
Now, how can a bridge be too noisy other than the cars that pass it? Well, the fence surrounding the bridge was built so thin that on windy days, it made a whistle sound, and it annoyed the shit out of a lot of people who live next to the bridge. But then, aside from natural phenomenon, there are some that just can't be explained, such as the Taos hum. If you don't know what that is, the Taos hum is this, well, it's a sound that only a small percentage of people can actually hear, around 2 to 3%. It only affects the residents of Taos, New Mexico, and for many it varies from being slightly annoying to incredibly awful and migraine-inducing. At first, many doctors thought it was, again, a sign of onset tinnitus maybe, but some people found out that if they just move away from Taos, the hum just sort of stops. And to this day, nobody really knows what the hum is caused by or why it even exists. Some scientists believe it's caused by the Earth shifting. The citizens of Taos believe that it is some low frequency from the nearby radio signals. Others attribute it to like some sort of secret weapon being built somewhere in New Mexico and Taos is the testing ground. And others believe it is spirits from beyond the grave trying to communicate with the people of Taos. And to this day, nobody can really find a definitive answer for it. However, that should show the diversity of the hum. It could be a hoax, sure, but for some, it's something completely different. Something that can be explained, or something that just can't. Kinda gets you excited, doesn't it? It makes you want to find the answers for yourself. It also makes you kinda scared, doesn't it? Either way, someday, somehow, you or I could hear the hum. We might just not know where it's coming from, if it's even coming from anywhere.